Happy Centennial. I'm Carrie Chapman-Catt and the founder of the League of Women Voters, one of the groups who are sponsoring this event. Way back in the turn of the 20th century, I was the president of the National American Women's Suffrage Association. This is Alice Paul, very smart.
I received my undergraduate degree from Swarthmore and went on to get my master's and PhD.
Alice is very motivated and was very young when she joined our ranks and impatient. Although we welcomed her into Nassau family, she never appreciated our more traditional strategies.
I saw just how well they were working, Carrie.
Well, many in the movement thought our rights could be achieved through state legislation, through letter writing campaigns, petitions, and speeches. And there were successes.
Not enough. And in many states, not full rights. We needed to demand a federal amendment. We needed action, not just words.
Alice spent some time in England with the militant Emmeline Pankhurst, smashing windows, burning public buildings.
We surely did. But my work here was more subdued. My first job with Nassau was to organize a parade in Washington, D.C. It took place on the eve of Woodrow Wilson's inauguration in 1913, right down Pennsylvania Avenue. It was the first large organized protest march in our nation's capital. 5,000 participated. Enfranchised women from across the globe came and marched. American women from every state and in every profession came to march. Mothers, grandmothers, sisters, wives, daughters. There were representatives from all across American society.
Really? Blacks and immigrants too?
Yes, as you very well know, Carrie, politics is all about quid pro quo. I had to tell Ida Wells Barnett.
Ida B. Wells?
Yes.
The Black journalist and activist?
Yes.
Who won a posthumous Pulitzer Prize in 2020?
That's the one. Anyway, I had to ask her to take her group of African American suffragists to the back of the parade to march behind all the other women and men. It was the only way the delegation from the southern states would march. She didn't listen anyway and marched with her state of Illinois. Anyway, the first float in the parade made our position clear. We demand an amendment. No more asking politely. Oh, the parade was a great success.
The crowd was out of control. There were hundreds of injuries. Why, the U.S. cavalry had to step in to quell the disorder.
Because of drunken, rude men who jeered and shoved and threw things, and the police refused to intervene. Some officers even told us to go home where we belonged. It was rough, but we got some great press.
Alice's distinctive tactics forced us to remove her from Nassau.
Good riddance. I formed my own organizations. Throughout the following years, all of the suffrage groups continued the push for a federal solution.
Well, by then, most Americans knew that it was about more than just the ballot. Our civil rights would mean redefining women's roles in society.
It was an amazing and terrifying time to be alive. Marvelous inventions were changing our way of life. The Zeppelin and streetcar,
the electric toaster and vacuum cleaner.
And the zipper and the bra.
Oh, radios, telephones, and motion pictures transformed communication.
It was also a time of political revolution.
in Ireland, Russia, Mexico,
and illness, the Spanish flu and polio epidemics.
and war. Once America had declared war, I wanted suffragists to support the country and President Wilson. It was important for the country to see women as vital to the war effort. We took over the jobs vacated by drafted men. We worked in munitions factories, distributed food, joined the Red Cross, volunteered at European hospitals, sold war bonds, and promoted patriotism among the immigrants. In our way, we were fighting along the men. And if we were fighting, we should have the vote.
But how could you support such a hypocritical government? Kaiser Wilson was making the world safe for democracy when half of American citizens couldn't vote? It would have been just like the Civil War. Anthony and Stanton gave up suffrage to support the government, and what happened after the war? Nothing.
But picketing the White House, burning Wilson's speeches, and even an effigy of the president, it was treasonous, and you were arrested.
Yes, hundreds of us were, multiple times, and dozens of us went to prison where, during our hunger strikes, we were tied down and force-fed, all of which raised public awareness and made our legislators uncomfortable.
While I continued to meet with the president and other government leaders to respectfully sway them to our side. You can catch more flies with honey.
We didn't want flies. We wanted the ballot.
Well, your aggressive lobbying and shameless publicity campaign made Nassau's work seem moderate and reasonable by comparison, and resulted in our success.
Without our effort, you would still be smiling and cajoling, and American women would continue to be disenfranchised.
Anyway, on June 4th, 1919, the 19th Amendment was voted through the U.S. Congress.
Just. It won by 1 vote in the House and by 2 in the Senate, but we couldn't stop to celebrate.
For then the real battle began, as we needed to convince 36 states to ratify the fledgling amendment.
And we all worked together to achieve our hard-won right to vote.